Alright guys, we're trying out something completely new today, something I've never tried before. And you might be wondering, hey, finance car guy, you said you were going to be making videos in the car, and now you're making videos outside. Well, like I told you guys yesterday, if you guys watched the video yesterday, I'm actually on vacation. This is the first day of my vacation. And I'm somewhere right now in central Florida. And what I want to start the video off with, and this has nothing to do with today's topic, and we'll get to that, and if you want to get to that, I'll leave chapters in the video so you can just skip right to it. But what I want to ask is, do you all have that special location where you go and you feel like you can truly just disconnect? Well, that's what this place is like for me. So today, on this beautiful fine morning here, I'm walking the dog. His name is Benji. You may have seen him in some videos, and it's pretty nice. He's very easy to walk, unlike my golden retriever who loves to pool. And that's one of the reasons I love walking him. Honestly, before ever having the dachshund, I never really enjoyed dog walks because that golden was just crazy. So that's the first thing I want to mention. And now you might be wondering how it is that I'm actually filming this way on a phone. Well, a couple of videos ago, I did say that I would eventually upgrade to a phone. And if you guys had noticed in my other older videos, I have been reading notes off this red phone here. And that red phone is my old phone, the iPhone 13, where this whole channel kind of started. Okay, I've been on this channel for like a year, but I took a long hiatus, and the videos came back with that iPhone 13, the red one. But I decided to upgrade to the iPhone 17. Honestly, AT&T had a deal that I simply just couldn't refuse, and so I went ahead and got it. And luckily for me, they have this kind of cool capture thing right here, this dual capture method, which I think can make for a pretty interesting video because you get to see me, you get to see where I am, and of course, you get to see this little guy right here who is having the time of his life. As always, I mean, when does a dachshund not have the time of their life? All right, now for the meat and potatoes of this video, okay, if you will. I'm literally multitasking here, right? I'm holding the leash. I got the phone on one hand. I'm going to be trying to do this as best as I can. Apologies for all the movement if there's so much movement, but we're going to get right into it. Today's video is about two of my favorite things, DCA versus lump sum investing. These are two very popular investing strategies that you may have heard of before. DCA standing for dollar cost averaging, and lump sum investing, well, pretty much exactly what it sounds like, taking a large portion of money and investing it all at once. I want to talk about a little bit of what each one of these means and why it's beneficial, and then maybe finish off with some examples of when each one might win. And then from there, you can make a decision on which one's best for you. Okay, so for the first one here, dollar cost averaging. Okay, so it's all about investing a fixed amount of money at regular intervals, regardless of price fluctuations. Now, this is something I currently do with my mutual fund, now that we actually understand these terms, right? If you saw my video yesterday, you would understand stocks, ETFs, and mutual funds. I have a mutual fund that I pay into every single month, and this mutual fund is FXAIX, tracks the S&P 500. And the cool thing about this is I have automated investments directly set up on Fidelity that I deposit every single month into here. So this is a form of dollar cost averaging. In my head, I'm not really so concerned about the NAV. Remember, the NAV for mutual funds, net asset value. I'm not really concerned about price fluctuations within the stock here, within the fund rather. I'm just going to keep investing no matter what. And there are some months where that NAV might be a little bit higher, so all in all, I end up getting less, right? And there's some months where that NAV is going to be lower, so for those months, I get more. And what ends up happening throughout the year is that kind of averages out, and you end up maybe with lower or a higher amount of shares, depending on the share price or the, fund price, whenever it is that you buy. So let me go over a couple of things, right? Here's one simple example. Let's say the first month you buy 5 shares. This is an example with a stock. Let's say the first month you buy 5 shares at $100. That's $500. This is all based on the example that you're depositing $500 a month, okay? So if 1 month you have 5 shares, each priced at $100, right? That's $500. The second month, you get 10 shares. They're each priced at $50. That's also $500. And then month 3, you have 6.6 shares priced at $75. That's also about $500. So your total share cost at the end is you take that total amount that you invested, $1,500, and you divide it by the amount of shares that you had, which is 21.6. So it's around $69. Now, if you look at that, you look at all the different share prices at all the different points. One time it was 100, the other time was 50, the other time was 75, and now you have an average price of $69 a share. And that's because you actually bought more shares. The price is trending downwards because you bought more shares when prices were low. So you might be thinking, hey, this is a pretty great investing strategy. Why would someone want to do this? Well, I think the first thing, one of the main important reasons, is it reduces emotional decision making. Right? You don't have to time the market. That's probably one of the most difficult things about stock picking. And we talked about stock picking and why it's something that probably is not worth doing. Okay, it's very hard to time the market. It's very hard to pick individual winners. But if you do something like dollar cost averaging, you're sort of spreading out that volatility, spreading out that emotional, how do I say, turmoil, if you will. You don't really have to worry about emotional decision making. You set it up in your account once and you just let it keep rolling for the whole year. And ideally, you even forget about it. The best thing about DCAing is maybe you wake up one morning and realize, hey, I forgot that I was even doing this. And you end up with a lot of money. That's the best thing, right? This is ideal for beginners or anyone interested in investing out of a paycheck. My dog, he sometimes likes to get, cross body with the leash, so I have to do these like crazy turns. So it's ideal for beginners or anyone investing out of a paycheck. So again, dollar cost averaging is something that's very easy to explain to beginners. And if you have a paycheck and you're already deducting a percentage of that paycheck for dollar cost averaging, it makes investing into your brokerage, Fidelity, Vanguard, Charles Schwab, very simple. And that's exactly what we want, especially when we're starting out. It also helps mitigate the risk during volatile or uncertain markets. You don't invest too much when things go down, for example, right? And you take advantage of volatility. Low market equals more shares. Let's say you invest a lot of money and then the stock ends up tanking. Well, that's a lot of money that you just lost. But also on the other hand, if you do something like DCAing, the nice upside of that is that you might be able to buy a lot of shares or buy some amount of shares, depending on that fixed cost every single month. And there might be a time where the stocks are actually going down, so you end up getting more than what you bargained for. So again, that's why it's kind of nice. You get more when the price is down, but you do get less when the price goes up. But at the end of the day, you just don't really care about it. And finally, it feels more manageable. It's easier to stay consistent. So again, one of the very easy things here is just when you see that, you have money coming out of your paycheck, you don't have to think about it. Again, ideally, it's almost like that, what do they say? You want to pay yourself first, right? Come on, Benji. I have to guide my dog in different areas. Oh, here he goes. He saw some other dog there. Come on, boy. Let's see if we can get him out of here. The thing about dachshunds. Oh, come on. The thing about dachshunds is they're small and mighty. Let me see if I can wrangle them in over here. This is classic right here. First time doing this type of vlog, If I was a pro at this, you wouldn't see as much camera shake, but I think, again, that's the point of this type of video. I'm really just in it to win it. And I'm in it with you guys right now. And that makes it a lot more fun for me. I could have done a canned video, maybe not a canned video, but the types of videos that I make in the house, maybe the types of videos I make in the car, they're awesome and I love them and that's sort of the brand. But being able to do something like this, it's a lot more fun. And there's also the benefit that I'm just walking and getting some exercise. So I'm kind of killing two birds with one stone over here. All right, a lot of people out right now. Need to make sure this guy stays calm. That's going to make recording a lot easier for me. I was hoping I'd get up early enough that there might not be a lot of people, but as we're seeing right now, that's not the case. Okay, let me see if we can move on to the next topic here, all right? Let me grab my trusty phone right here. The next thing we're going to talk about, guys, is lump sum investing. Another very popular investing strategy that you may have heard of, okay? So, lump sum strategy. Invest all your money at once rather than spreading it over time. So imagine you have $6,000. You can invest all $6,000 at the beginning of the year, or like dollar cost averaging, you'd be splitting that $500 every month for the entire year. Okay, this time we're talking about lump sum averaging, not lump sum averaging, lump sum investing. Taking all that money and investing it at once. Now, this is something that I also do in my accounts. I do have a Roth IRA and I also have an HSA. At the beginning of the year, I do have some money that I take and I invest all of it at once. I try to max out these accounts as quickly as possible and all at the same time. And there's benefits to doing this as well. Some benefits that we're going to talk about right now. Okay, so lump sum investing, why? Well, historically, markets rise more than they fall. There's something I really want you to do on your own. Try it out. Look at the S&P 500 index and zoom out all the way, okay? Look at the lifetime of the fund. You'll notice that there is a steady increase over time. Of course, you're going to notice some drops, maybe 2008, maybe COVID, maybe times of great turmoil, national turmoil, like 9/11, okay? Other times in history, you'll see drops. But over time, it has steadily increased. And that's what I want you to pay about. That's what I want you to think about, okay? If you ever feel stressed out, just remember to zoom out. That will give you the best confidence that you're investing in something worthwhile. The earlier the money is invested, the more of a chance it has to compound. Something very, very important too. Compounding is, what is it, the seventh wonder of the world? Very important that the more money you have, the earlier on, the more it can compound and grow into something great. It mathematically tends to outperform DCA in the long run about 66% of the time. It's great for investors with a large amount of cash who can handle short-term volatility. From my experience, investors, they get rich when they do something like lump sum investing. You guys remember when I was talking about GameStop the other day? Maybe at that point I didn't really have a lot of cash. That's why I only invested $1,000 into it. But if sometimes you have a lot of conviction in a company and the share price is low, if you look online, you do your research, you see the people that are actually getting rich. These people are in dollar cost averaging. These people are investing large sums of money into their accounts in hopes that it will double, triple, quadruple their amount, right? You can't win big unless you play big. And I know it really makes it sound like a gamble. There's a YouTuber I like to watch. His name is, man, I think it's Matt Kors. I hope that's his name, Matt Kors. I'm sorry if that's not your name. But Matt Kors says this thing every single time, every single day when that stock market opens, he says, "Oh, the biggest casino in the world." So it's kind of funny, and you got to sometimes think to yourself and kind of agree with him. Okay, so now we're going to go into a little bit of it's not really an example, but it's which one's best for you. Okay, so in terms of risk tolerance, dollar cost averaging is great if you're nervous about market drops. If you're the type of person that you feel like you can't stomach volatility, but you still want to be able to invest and not really worry about the stock price, just do dollar cost averaging. Pick a value that makes sense for you. Come on, Benji, let's get out of there. There's some mushrooms here, and I don't really want him to get on those mushrooms. Come on, boy. Let's go this way. You just want to be able to invest a fixed amount. Pick whatever makes sense for you, whether it be $100, $200, $500, and then from there, just set it and forget it. Don't even think about it. Lump sum averaging is great. Lump sum investing, I keep saying averaging. Lump sum investing is great if you're comfortable with volatility, okay? If you're willing to maybe risk it a little more, risk it for the biscuit, then you can potentially earn a lot more. So just keep that in mind. If you have that volatility, you have that stomach, I think that if you're young, probably doing lump sum investing is probably the way to go. You have a lot of time on your side, you can take that risk, so I would encourage you to just do so. The market conditions. Okay, for dollar cost averaging, it's helpful in uncertain or declining markets. And for lump sum investing, it favors upward trending markets, right? So when things are going bad, dollar cost averaging is great. You actually end up buying more shares as those stock prices go down. But if things start getting really good, you're going to wish you just invested a lot more money because you'll make a lot more money. Emotions wise, for dollar cost averaging, it builds discipline and removes timing bias. So the really cool thing about dollar cost averaging is you get very good at becoming disciplined with your money. I've said it time and time again, but the thing here is all about developing good habits. You're constantly putting money into an account. You're constantly adjusting that as you maybe get raises, as your lifestyle changes. It develops very good, healthy habits with money, and that's something that you don't really get with lump sum averaging. Man, I keep saying lump sum averaging, but I think by this point you guys understand it's way better than lump sum investing, where sometimes you might just feel like, oh, I'm just going to put it all in because I feel great about this company, and then it tanks. You don't have that with dollar cost averaging. Lump sum investing requires confidence and patience. Let's talk about return potential. I think you guys already know the answer here. DCA is slightly lower on average, where lump sum investing is higher long-term expected returns. Finally, DCA is best for regular savers and paycheck-to-paycheck investors, whereas lump sum investing is great for investors with large cash windfalls, bonus inheritance, etc. So in summary, guys, here, straight from the financial car guy's mouth, in summary, DCA is safer, steadier, and it's great for building habits and reducing regret. Whereas lump sum investing, it wins when share prices continually go up, and he bought all of them at a low cost. Man, this video has been a trip to make. There's a lot of movement in this video, okay? This is kind of like a vlog. I'm super excited to do this. I mean, at the end of the day, the point of the YouTube challenge is to just make videos. Okay, the most important thing right now in this step of my YouTube journey is just clicking create on YouTube Studio and uploading the video. Okay, obviously I want to make content about things that I enjoy and hopefully things that other people will enjoy and learn from. But at the end of the day, it's really a journey for me to develop my own habits and consistency that honestly I haven't had before on YouTube. Okay, now we're going to go over some examples. When does DCA win? Okay, DCA wins when the market drops after you invest. Not after you invent something, after you invest. Okay, so if you have $1,200 to invest over the next 4 months, and let's say, month one, the stock price is $100, and you invest 300, but then the stock price keeps going down, you keep that $300 fixed, right? Every single month for 4 months, it's $300 you're putting in, but the stock price is going down. $100 first month, $80 the second month, $60 the third month, and then maybe up a little bit, $70 the fourth month. But man, the DCA value is that average share price of, 16 times $70 is $1,123, whereas the lump sum value would only get you $840. So DCA wins in this case because you were buying more shares when the prices were low. You averaged down your costs and ended with more total shares by the time the prices recovered slightly. Okay, that's something so important here. I mean, something that you just can't get with lump sum investing. As that price starts going down, your fixed dollar amount that you're investing every single month is just continually going and giving you more bang for your buck without you having to do anything. Now let's see when lump sum investing wins. Let's take that same $1,200 and invest it over the course of the 4 months, except this time we're going to do it all at once right in the beginning. So imagine you invest when that stock price is $100, you put all your money into there, and all of a sudden that stock continues to go up and up and up. All that money that you put initially now is worth a lot more because you just put that much more of an initial investment that can compound over time. Okay? Something I really want you to pay attention to. Lump sum wins because your money was fully invested earlier, capturing the entire upward movement of the market. Fellas, that's all I got to say in today's video. Again, lots of movement in today's video. This is a brand new thing for me. It's not very easy to film yourself in a neighborhood when people are watching you. That's probably one of the greatest skills that I can attest to as a YouTube content creator, even a new one like myself. Getting outside of your house and filming yourself in public spaces requires a lot of confidence, believe it or not. And even as someone like me that considers myself an extrovert, it's still pretty tough. People will look at you strangely. People will wonder what it is that you're filming, why you're filming. They'll ask all sorts of questions. So being a YouTuber is a lot more than just making the content, okay? You got to build your own resiliency. You got to do the right thing. So guys, I'm done for the day. That was my video on DCA versus lump sum investing. Let me know what investing strategy you like. What investing strategy do you employ? Honestly, I do a little bit of both. I do DCAing throughout the year in my FXAIX mutual fund, right? We talked about that earlier in the video. And then I do lump sum investing when it comes to things like my Roth IRA and HSA. I think a little bit of both is healthy. A little bit of both is smart. You're kind of, you're playing both sides of the field. So I think if anything, you're protecting your money more. But I will be honest. If I can go back to when I was 24, I probably would have told myself to do more lump sum investing. There have been many situations in life where had I just invested more, I could have made more, but I got nervous. And that's the thing. You need that emotional resiliency and that toughness to be able to drop so much into a stock or fund or really anything, right? So guys, Benji says bye. I say bye. Oh, you almost saw me drop my phone there. That would have sucked. I mean, thank God it's not the new one. The old one is already, I have to return it. Anyway, I will see you all next time. Later.